Welcome to the Cussing Crow Tarot. This is not a live reading. Time is fluid, so take what resonates and leave the rest. You might find this comes to you at a time when you need it, or if you're not resonating with it, take what you do resonate with and leave the rest. I'm using a double deck, so 2 decks together, the Shaman's Dream Oracle and the Cosmic Dreamer Oracle. Get all the cards in. Get all the cards in. There you go. So it all starts off with connectivity. Card of connectivity. It's called the Jeweled Web. All about being in line and connecting with the universe. The number 3, this card is 32. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Number 32. 3s are all about working with the elements around you, with people around you, reaching out, asking for help. 2 is about making decisions or partnering up with other people. 5, 3 and the 2 together, excuse me, is all about change. So we've got here connecting with other people, partnering up with other elements of self perhaps, the universe, connecting with the divine, connecting with those around you, connecting with parts of yourself that you sometimes would prefer to avoid. Instead of disassociating, it's coming back and remembering that we're connected to everything. We've got choices and their consequences. 2 is all about making decisions, and 0 is all about starting at ground zero. So it's making a decision to start from scratch. Feast of plenty, choices and their consequences. The choices we make put us on a path to partner us up with where we need to be, whether that's energy, people, situations. But it's showing that we can make these choices and we can be in abundance. We can be in abundance. That light is way too shiny. It looks like a glass sphere or a crystal ball, and there's a crystal at the top with swords going into it. So choices, it's a bit like the 2 of Swords card, where you make choices and you can either reap the rewards of those choices, or you can suffer the consequences, if you like. We reap what we sow type of card. The floating island, like you could be feeling like you're floating at the moment, not quite sure where you're going to land, where you're going, where you are even. Feel like you're just hanging around and there's maybe no purpose. But this connectivity card at the beginning and these choices and their consequences leads you to feeling like this. So maybe you've disassociated from people, or maybe the choices and consequences are leading you to feel like you're on an isolated island on your own, and and you might actually be enjoying that. You might have isolated yourself deliberately, a bit like the Hermit card, or you could just feel like you're floating around with no purpose. But there is a purpose, even though it seems very surreal at the moment, and ships are all about relationships, friendships, stability, rocky waters, stabilizing those emotions and stuff. So everything might feel a bit turbulent at the moment, like you're on a rocky sea and you're being thrown up in the air, and although there's calm waters above you, you don't realize what's going on underneath. And so everything feels a bit like, almost like the calm before the storm, calm waiting to happen, or the storm waiting to happen after the calmness. It's been, everything's been calming down, and then there's this turbulence underneath that's boiling, ready to come to the surface, but it all seems a bit dreamy and a bit surreal at the moment. And then we've got shadow self, it's aspects of ourself. Can a leopard ever change its spots? And we've got a horse here. Horse is for strength and for determination and pushing through, and all their hard work. And you've got like the jaguar or the leopard with the spots, and the old phrase, leopard never changes their spots. And there's a saying, you can never take, you can make, yeah, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So it's kind of like knowing and learning aspects of yourself that you would rather avoid. Those leopards that can't change their spots, those habits that you can't give up. All about being strong in your will to get through it and push through it. And almost like you've had to fake it to make it kind of card, but it's facing the shadow self and all that is you, all the darker sides that you try to avoid. And that not drinking from water, even though we've taken you there. You have the knowledge to change yourself or aspects about yourself, but a lot of the time this doesn't happen because we try to hide that. We try to disguise ourselves like the leopard. But you've got transformation here and the moon, so it's like realization that there's things in yourself that you need to take accountability for, and that's not really an external thing with other people, it's more with yourself. It's more yourself needing to go inwards and seek those aspects of yourself you're trying to avoid or hide, and face up to them, confront them. We've got then the alchemical flame, so you are the one that can create your own spark. You can cause chaos with your spark, or you can cause enlightenment. You can have realization from that spark of inspiration, to create your own magic, or you could turn it into a destructive force. And we all know what fire can do. It's not good. So it's kind of like fanning your own flames and doing that shadow work to be able to fan these flames, and knowing that fire can bring a lot of transformation as well. So burning those bridges, burning those bridges, accepting aspects of yourself that either others or yourself doesn't like, but this is more about yourself, and that inner flame, and finding that spark again, but not hiding behind anything like that, not hiding in the shadows, and coming to the fore with your flame, and seeing that you can light your own fire and make your own magic, a bit like the Magician card in the tarot. We've then got the Garden of Dreams. Don't know if you can see that, the Garden of Dreams. So we've got like this little cave opening almost in this like portal, which is reflecting on it looks like it's in the air, but at the same time it looks like it's in the sea, so very surreal. But then this is from the Cosmic Dreamers Oracle deck, so that's probably why it's very much, yeah, it's very surreal, isn't it? And we've got the cloud, and every cloud has a silver lining, and it looks like there's like sweeties or stuff like, from your dreams falling out or something in the sky, or it could be balloons that are taking off. It's all very colourful and dreamlike. And you've got the tree, which is about growth. So it's about going through new doors, taking opportunities, taking that leap, if you like, to grow yourself and have all this stuff in abundance around you. And this cloud doesn't have to be a heavy, dark cloud. It could be a cloud with a silver lining. And it is the Garden of Dreams. It's like we create our own reality. There we are at the bottom, creating our own reality and deciding which way to go. And there's colour here, and there's shadow here. And again, it's walking towards maybe aspects of yourself, to find that dream inside you, to find that spark, to get back to dreaming and pulling yourself up and becoming a better version of yourself. because this is the garden of dreams, where your dreams can come true because you're master of your own destiny. Horsemen, going back to horses again, look, and there's a lot of apocalyptic stuff going around now with 4 horses of the apocalypse. This is the horseman, the herald of change. An apocalypse does actually mean revelation, which is very interesting because it's more about having the strength to take on and accept the new revelations that are coming to the fore, and things that you're either finding out about yourself or other people. Things changing, relationships, friendships are changing, maybe career paths are changing, maybe your ideas, the way of your perceiving the universe has changed. And we've got 3 here, which is all about, 3s are all about working with other elements or other people, and you can see the horse rising up with the rider, ready to sort of jump out, almost fly into the sky and work with those elements, to be the herald of change, just like those 4 horses of the apocalypse. This doesn't, again, have to be all doom and gloom. There's a change coming. The enchantress, knowing your own magic, following that intuition to freedom. I also see birds representing freedom. It's like she's entangled by this, it's almost like this plant growing around her and she's becoming part of it, but she doesn't have to be trapped in this cage. She can have control over her own kingdom. It reminds me of a bird cage, this, and it's almost like the birds have been released and she's holding on to it still. But she can, it's almost like a honeycomb as well in the picture, and this could be her like swollen magnificent brain from all the ideas she's got. She's creating her own magic in the universe, and freeing up space, maybe creating herself a magical sacred space so she can have all this information coming through and be free in the universe. The enchantress, intuition, following dreams, creating your own magic like the magician. We have the cosmic wheel. We're all part of the cosmic wheel. Tides are turning. This is kind of like the wheel of fortune. This is, everything's got a cycle. We you know, things go backwards, forwards, but time is fluid. So it's like, this is almost like the cosmic wheel of life, if you like. It's reminding us that we're all part of those cycles and those seasons and those star constellations, and we're all very much connected. This is the card of connectivity, the jeweled web, and then the cosmic wheel. It's all, we are very much interconnected, very much so. So times are changing, the wheel is turning, the wheel of time, the wheel of fortune, the great cosmic wheel of the seasons, the stars, the planets. So let me see now, we've done all this, so let's move through, keep the flow going. So we've done all this, let's, balancing act, dancing on one foot, closing a door, completion. It's like you might have been feeling that you've been juggling, or it's coming to the end of a cycle, the juggling or balancing things out. That says number 9 in the corner, but I can't get it to, no, I don't know if you can see it. So yeah, we've got here, well, it's like a beautiful leaf. It's like a beautiful leafed person, like a spirit, and it says dances on one foot, and it's like nature dancing on one foot, almost like we're transforming into something new. And green represents heart matters, so it's like you could feel like you're treading on eggshells, or it could feel that you're hopping, you're dancing on one foot out of joy. It could mean many different things for you, take it as it resonates, but it's like there's been a bit of a balancing act. You've either had to dance on one foot, tread on eggshells, juggle, something like that, but it's coming to the end of a cycle and you can gracefully go into the next phase. It's all about transforming and moving through those changes, as opposed to pushing them away, accepting they've happened and moving on. There's no need to dance on one foot unless it's for joy anymore. You know, we don't need to tread on eggshells. We can transform and be in our own light, step into it with grace, and be as graceful as that trapeze artist or that butterfly hopping from twig to twig, from branch to branch. Then we've got completion, closing a door, and like I said with this card, this is number 9, this is coming to the end of a cycle. This is number 5, which is about change, because you're closing a door on something. It says completion. A cycle is coming to an end, whether that's a good or a bad one. It's coming to an end. Something is changing. You have the choice. We have here choices and their consequences. Based on your choices and the consequences that come from that, you can either have abundance or you can have sorrow. You can have happiness or you could have nothing. You know, that kind of, depending on the choices going forward. And closing a door here, closing a door on those cycles of things that make you feel less than, you know. It's about a choice. You're making a choice here to step into your own future by closing the door on either how you feel about something, or closing a door on a situation or a friendship or a relationship, walking away from different ways of communicating, closing a door on reacting or responding inappropriately, or, you know, closing a door on I'm not being told what to do anymore. Closing a door on anything you want to close a door on, because it's your choice. It's your choice. Then we've got the galactic mushroom, the divine matrix. Again, that connectivity. We're all part of this jeweled web. And sometimes we see it very differently. I see seahorses in that when I do this, but when I look at it, you can't. Yeah, it's bizarre. The camera brings up it like a seahorse. Galactic mushroom. Everything's a little bit trippy, a bit surreal right now. Is this really happening? We just want to go into our own bubbles and grow ourselves in the dark like little hermits. And it's telling you about that divine matrix inside ourselves, that crystalline self, that going back to our roots, if you like, sitting in the dark with ourselves, with our thoughts, and yeah, maybe having a few weird moments and some psychedelic, not mushrooms necessarily, you know, but taking that time out to have those weird thoughts, to be your weird little self, to understand that not everything always makes sense, not everything is what it seems, it all depends on perceptions, all depends on perceptions, and grow yourself in the dark. Take some time out to understand the divine matrix of what is the jeweled web of connectivity that we are all very much part of. All very much part of. Anything we do always affects, it always has a knock-on effect. Like, is it the Mandela or the butterfly effect? I mean the butterfly effect. So this is all about taking time out for you to be aware of what's going on in the greater, grander scheme of things. That's how I see this card, and obviously take it how you see it. That's why I'm showing you these pictures, because you might get something else from it. You see, I see a little man with a face and a hat on, and then I see another little creature waving. You could get all sorts from this. Depends how you see it. But yeah, we've got the 2, which is about making decisions, and the 4, building foundations. Building your own foundations by regrowing yourself, sticking yourself in the dark, getting your head around it or not. You know, stay in dream mode for a while. Do whatever you feel you need to do to just sit in the dark and grow. Right, we've got Watchers, Will-o'-the-Wisp, and the Dripping Moon are the last 3 cards. So Watchers, transpersonal. This is all about, you know, this is not just about ourselves. Sometimes we think and take everything quite personally, and we forget there's a bigger picture going on around us, and we are being watched, we are being guided, we are being led. We've all got soul contracts, but at the end of the day, this is a very transcendental personal experience I get from this. It's transpersonal. It's on many different levels. It's all about who we are. Are we watching ourselves? You know, it's all right to have someone else watch over us, but are we watching our own behavior? Are we watching our own communication? Are we watching our own emotions? Are we doing our own shadow work? You know, someone's always watching, but we are our own worst critics, so it's always best to, at the end of the day, sod what anyone else thinks. We can be our own watchers, our own guides, and we can take this personal experience to a different level through many dimensions. Or we can almost, this reminds me, it's almost like a dinosaur going rah at the sun, you know, let that light out, let that light out. And who cares what people think? Who cares who's watching? You know, as long as you know you're acting with all the best intention and you're moving towards becoming a better version of yourself and always improving. And if you're not, then do the work in that area. Then watch over yourself. Watch over yourself. Look after yourself. Keep an eye on how you're treating yourself, how you're criticizing yourself and others. If you're criticizing others, it's, you know, it's also about watching our own space. Keep an eye on our own space first and foremost, to have this transpersonal experience of self, this shadow self emerging, facing up to the things we don't want to face up to, not giving a shit what we've done and who's seen it, and not hiding behind this anymore, but coming to, yeah, I've seen that, I've seen you do this, we've seen, you know, I'm the first person to hold my hands up and say, I'm watching myself, thanks. I've got myself, you know, but also knowing you've got comfort in knowing that you've got guides out there, you've got ancestors, you've got loved ones watching over you for you to have this completely amazing human experience. Will-o'-the-wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows. So what do I say about treasures hidden in the shadows? You can get the treasure is the transformation that comes from doing all the homework, getting rid of the shadow self, hiding behind the shadow self, or ignoring the shadow self, avoiding it, hiding it, you know. And it's like it comes and goes like will-o'-the-wisp. Treasures hidden in the shadows. It's just, you know. And in here we see, well, I see a face, I see growth. It's almost like an angel springing out from the water. 6 is all about balance after chaos. 2 is about settling down into like decisions, and so it's making that decision to find your own harmony by doing your own shadow work. Whoopsie, sorry, doing your own shadow work, releasing all that shit, all that negativity about yourself or others, all that judgment about yourself or others, the critical day to day, you know, projecting, reflecting, all that stuff. All of that stuff that you think people might not like or you don't like or whatever, deal with it, face it head on, accept it, it's part of you. It's not something that should be necessarily hidden away or discarded. It's part of you. We all have a shadow self, and this is where it comes to. You will rise out of that. There's secrets in the shadow, or the treasures hidden in the shadows. You'll find lots of treasure, those secret treasures that have been hidden inside you all the time, and you haven't been able to do the healing because you've got this shadow self here. This is about facing up to everything so that you can transform into the light, can transform and find those treasures hidden in your shadows. I hope you've enjoyed the reading. We have the Dripping Moon, which is the last card. The Dripping Moon. This shows me the energies coming off the moon and how they affect us, how we can be emotionally affected by the moon. What do you find from this card? It's almost like gaining energy, or the energy from the moon could be draining you, or or to use those energies, or be aware that they're leaking in. Those energies are leaking in. We're all connected. Here comes the jeweled web card again. We're all connected. The dripping moon. The dripping moon. Until next time. Bye for now.